The first thing we need to notice about the teenagers is that they've got a tremendous mental radar sensitivity. For what? For fakeness and bull dust. You know what bull dust means, right? When you lie, when you talk and you don't mean it, when you're fake, they know it. Wallahi, they know it. And we used to have PDs as teachers, and the first thing we used to talk about is, listen, you can't lie to a student. You can't just go in and be lazy or not mark the stuff and you're not prepared. The child reads right through you. And that's when you get misbehavior in class. They don't respect you. The first thing I say about teenagers, brothers and sisters, is the teenager has got a big body now. If he's a boy, he's grown. The jaw, the muscles, the hair, you know, the little moustache, that just the little tiny bits of hair that come up here. He looks at the mirror and he sees those little 10 hairs that have come up underneath his nose, and he thinks that he's Rambo now. He thinks he can take on the world. He's got a bit of hair under here. You acknowledge that. I remember when I was about 13, 14, I got this little, forgive me, one guy said to me, it's bum fluff. I said, come on, man, don't tease me like that. I remember an older fellow, when I was studying in Lebanon, he comes up to my brother and he whispers. He goes, your brother is... I go to my brother, what did he say? He goes, he said, you're becoming a man. I was like a rooster after that. Well, I looked up, I go, yeah, man. And I saw that, like, this was the world for me. It really affected me, mashallah. Can you imagine that? A girl likes to be treated with dignity. She's a lady. Treat her like a lady at that age. Yeah, fathers can still muck around with them or whatever, but now there are boundaries, and you knock on her door. You ask her permission. Not because you need her permission. You're showing her that now she is more valuable, she's growing up, there are boundaries that you've got to respect. You ask her for her opinion. Wallahi, this is very healthy. So, teenagers, but you subtly need to put rules and boundaries, because this big body, this new grown-up boy or girl, they look like big in front of you and you're going to expect that they should know everything, but their body's just grown up too quick. The brain is just developing, catching up. So, between 13 and 25, you slowly, obviously after 18, there's less responsibility and so on. The first thing we need to notice about the teenagers is that they've got a tremendous mental radar sensitivity. For what? For fakeness and bull dust. You know what bull dust means, right? When you lie, when you talk and you don't mean it, when you're fake, they know it. Wallahi, they know it. And we used to have PDs as teachers, and the first thing we used to talk about is, listen, you can't lie to a student. You can't just go in and be lazy or not mark the stuff and you're not prepared. The child reads right through you. And that's when you get misbehavior in class. They don't respect you. But when they know you're on the ball, when they know that you know what you're doing, when they know that you are genuine, they love you, they respect you. And even if they don't love you or like you, they will respect you and they will appreciate you. They'll probably argue, but they're testing you. So, they can look through your fakeness. So you got to be genuine, honest, and talk with them with empathy. When you talk to them, sound interested and match their content, right? If you can't get yourself to be interested in their hobbies and whatever, change what you are thinking about. Don't think about the hobby. Don't say, what? She reads that. Why is she reading that? That's rubbish. What? He's into that. Don't be into that. That's rubbish. No. Say, okay, tell me about it. Look at your child and think, okay, my child's happy. My child feels important in that. Let's talk together. Even if you don't enjoy it, you make yourself enjoy it for their sake. They will see you as the world because you've invested in them. And if their interests are haram, let's say they're into hobbies or interests that are haram, obviously you can't show that you're happy about that. Or their interests can be harmful. Let's say they want to get a motorbike. I don't like motorbikes myself. I despise them. Jokingly, I say if I was a mufti and can give a fatwa, I'd say motorbikes are haram. No, because seriously, I've seen so many deaths and tragedies on them from people who were my friends, who were living, family members. But like, if you ride safely, I'm not saying it's haram, of course, but I just despise them and hate them. I think they're quite dangerous. But if it's something harmful or haram, then your interest is their well-being. So say to them, for example, I want you to have interests. I want you to be happy, son, daughter. Wallahi, I will spend what I can for your interest and hobbies. I want you to have it. But what do you think? I fear about this and I think that, and this has got haram in it. I don't want you to earn sins for it. And Allah asked me about, talk to them. So what do you think? Can you choose? Let's choose something else. Let's do something else. So you've got to be able to talk back and forth with them and ask them and not just lecture them. Number 1 for communication, I'm going to go through them quickly. Listen by asking a lot of questions. Listen by asking them a lot of questions. Number 2, give them feedback. There is a part of the brain called the amygdala, and it does well when you give them feedback. For example, you might say, so I see what you're saying is, or you might say, can you check if I understood you correctly? Or you can say, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to repeat what I just heard. Because often we as parents think we understood what they're saying, but often we get it wrong. And then we jump to conclusions and act upon it. And then they say, gosh, man, you don't understand me. Like, you don't get me. You don't get it. So ask them, help me to get it. Tell me. And just listen and repeat and give them feedback. And then you can say something like, I remember doing something similar to what you did, and this is what my outcome was. Share with them instead of telling them, don't do that, do it this way. Number 3, give them positive compliments. Let your compliments be more than the criticism. But not always compliment. The compliments have to have different ways that you say. Like, be direct. Know your child and say, okay, what is it that they really are doing good at? And then highlight it. Randomly, in the lounge, in the car, when people are around, like your family, your brothers, your siblings, in front of your wife, your husband, say, you know what, Muhammad, what I like about you? Say what? Say, that thing that you do, you're really good at making yourself clear. Yeah, Bobo, like what, Dad? Say, like, the other day when you were talking like that, I was very proud, the way you were so clear about it. I think, mashallah, we can work on that. You've got a future, mate. Your daughter, you say, you know what I like about what you do? I noticed you do this and that. When I was your age, I couldn't even do it. My daughter's pretty magnificent at this. Highlight it and make sure that each one, you compliment them about it. Every child has something good in them, so highlight it. Make sure you mention it. Make sure. I promise you it'll make a huge difference for you. I like how you're patient when it's my turn to speak. Say to them that, for example. Randomly say, if I were to give you one description of how you stand out, say to your child, I would say, and then the other child will jump up, I bet, and they're going to say, tell me, Dad, tell me, Mum, what about me? What's special about me? Just look at yourself. When you're in a group and someone praises someone else, you feel, what about me? You're an adult, right? But you don't want to look like a kid. But when someone says, for you, and then you say, what is it about me? And you get all nice and cuddly and childish. Everybody loves to be praised. Your name is said and what was highlighted. Like, for example, I know a father who said to his daughter, you know what's special about you? She goes, what? He goes, you have a way of making people smile. And he goes and gets her a little jumper with a smiley emoji. You make people smile. You've now highlighted something unique about her, and you're going to build that character in her. Of course, not a people pleaser. You make people smile. So highlight it. Number 5, calm and tone. Look, it's very hard for us to keep our cool all the time. I even lose it. We're not perfect parents. But make yourself 70% of the time. When your child remembers how you talk, you want to be able to succeed in them remembering you as more calm and a tone and understanding than shouting, abusing, criticizing, frustrated. Because when you raise your voice, they're going to raise your voice. When you get angry, guess what they're going to do? They're going to get angry. I'm going to give you a quick exercise before we're done. The person next to you, I want you to ask them something, but you've got to whisper. And then I want to see how the other person responds. So turn to the person and ask him, what's your name? Go ask him. Ask him, what's your name? Come on, brothers, sisters, say, what's your name? Ask him, Ramadan. Ask Brother Mirsad. Hello, what's your name? So quietly, you got to whisper it. You got to whisper it. If you've brushed your teeth, whisper it, because your breath's going to come out all at the face. What's your name? Or go like this. What's your name? Come on. Brothers and sisters, watch this. If you whisper to someone, what's your name? Guess what happens? They whisper back. Why do they whisper back? If you go like this, there's no one around, and you go, hey, you know what? They're going to say, what? So why we're whispering? There's no one around. It's the nature of human beings. You lower your voice, they're going to lower their voice. We learned this in teaching. One of the strategies that when we sit together with teachers, I said to one of my friends, teacher, I said, bro, stop raising your voice. I can hear you from the other side of the corridor and I'm trying to teach. So the kids are frustrated. You want them to calm down, get them used to your tone. From here, bring it down to here. Say the most brutal things, but say them at a low tone. Okay, you're getting a demerit. But sir, I didn't do anything. One demerit. If you keep going, it's a detention. Sir, detention. And maintain. I saw one of them do that, and they followed them outside the room. And he just kept going, that teacher. Until you're able to match my tone, I can't hear you. And the voice went down. But sir, really, you got to listen to me. Okay, now I can hear you. All right, thank you for that. We'll talk after detention. Even that, whatever consequence you give your child, keep your tone, and guess what? Come back and talk about it. Do you know why I gave you that? Let's talk. It gives them time to calm down. Don't just give them consequence and let them go. You got to come back and talk. Well, like my father used to do that. He said, do you know why I punished you? After we've calmed down, I said, what, Dad? Next day. I said, because of this and that and that. I said, all right. He goes, do you understand? It's not because I love to punish you, Dad. And you end up loving him. My last piece of advice, don't talk too much, like what I'm doing right now. Don't talk too much. Lecture. Hear yourself. Record yourself. You don't even want to hear yourself. I remember back at school, we'd have a meeting and someone's talking and I feel like I'm the student now. And guess what? I find myself sitting right at the back. But then I tell off the student why they're sitting at the back. I find myself looking at my time, but then I tell off the student for looking at the time. I start saying, this could have been an email, instead of a big meeting. The student would have said, oh, why do I have to study? I can do this at home. So now I understand. Hold on a minute. This is frustration. Lecturing. You will notice, okay, who can tell me what's the attention span of an average teenager these days, or a child these days, 21st century, with social media, with gadgets, with all the devices? What's the attention span? Naam? 10? 30? 7 seconds. 7 seconds is the attention span. So you got to change the activity. Some about 15, 20 seconds, yeah. But you got to change. You got to get them to talk. You got to give and take. The Prophet, peace be upon him, his words were always short and direct. 2 sentences, wait, talk back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Instead of, have you been listening? You're looking at your phone. You've been lecturing the kid, the teenager for what? 10 minutes now. They shut out a long time ago. You can tell from their face. It's when the eyes stop moving and they just go, huh? Do you know what I said? Yeah, I don't know. You were saying something like, oh, don't know. No, I didn't say that. They don't know what you're saying. They can't even remember. When you shout, all they hear is shout. When I abuse, all they hear is I abuse. If I say 10 beautiful things and then I say, you're an idiot, what do they hear? You're an idiot. That's what they hear. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength and patience. Ameen. Use humor. Be a humorous person. Some parents, they don't know what joking is. Everything's haram, can't joke. Look, ya akhi, laughter and happiness is beautiful. Number 7, set boundaries and limits. You don't just let them on a green light. Boundaries and limits, and there are consequences. One of the boundaries and limits, I say, this day and age, is the phone for both your sons and daughters. Even if they're 16, 17, 18, I don't care how old they are. When you go to bed, the whole family goes to bed. At this time, the phones are outside, or they have to be off, until you can prove that you can be responsible to go to bed with no more phone in your hand. That phone is quite dangerous in the bedroom, but we cannot prevent it from them completely, and you cannot continue to monitor 24/7. So take it easy on yourself, oh parents. They do have to learn that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching them, and then there are consequences every now and then. So there are limits, there are boundaries. You don't let them cross it, inshallah, and there are consequences to it. You can talk to them and say, do you know why these boundaries are there? Maybe a good idea is when they're like 15, 16, sit together and say, okay guys, look, boys, sons, daughters, we have to put certain boundaries and limits. So we're going to decide on them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, all agreed? All right, do you know why we've got these boundaries? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what consequences should we give? There's several ways. You can agree on it democratically. Yani, don't make takfir on me, you know what I mean? Like democratically, as in together, we all decide, and we agree together. That's the best option. And then after the consequence happens, say, do you know why the consequence happens? And you review. Finally, avoid confrontation and ultimatums. If you don't do that, that's going to happen. If you don't do, and for crying out loud, brothers and sisters, not everything has to be a fight. They're not going to die if they didn't do their bed. They're not going to die or anything's going to happen if they forgot to do their chore, or if they stayed up a little bit more or something like that. Let's choose which battles. Not everything is a fight. My brothers and sisters, what is important? Major, health, safety, compulsory religious acts, right? Even at that time, avoid argumentation. Say, I cannot allow you to let yourself go. I care about you and I will have to place some limits for this. Give positive feedback, highlight what you love about them. Don't constantly remind them of their past mistakes, as I said, and avoid comparing them to others. Get out of the habit of comparing. Look at your cousin, look at your brother, look at your sister, look at so-and-so, look at so-and-so. Compare them to themselves instead. Even if you have to write it. So you know what, son, you know what, daughter, the other day, you managed to do this much. Now you've gone a little bit below that standard. So what are we going to do? You have to beat your standard. Or the other day you were at this standard. Now I can see you've actually improved. Well done. Keep going. Compare them to themselves. The worst thing you can do is compare them to others.